A homemade jet engine on a swing. Not too sure what to expect, but we'll just see. I'm sure it's gonna be cool and wholesome.
How you going? You ever seen the Space Shuttle Challenger launch? It was sick and successfully launched 7 astronauts into the sky.
That's cool.
And I want to do that with a jet engine on a swing. But I don't have enough space to do all the big dumb projects I want to do. Until now, and I've bought my dream house, and even paid extra to get a kitchen, 2 bathrooms, and high ceilings.
I mean, it does look pretty comfy though.
Look at all this space. It's such a liberating feeling being able to chuck a rock anywhere you want, where the only thing I have to worry about hitting is an endangered bird. I own that tree.
Sure, I mean, that's not a big deal.
And that tree, this log, and even this poo.
There's no way that all of
And
this is
100
proper
acres of
too.
pristine Aussie bush is filled with beautiful animals and plants, and also has more than enough room for a jet engine on a swing, which might just burn the whole place down.
Oh my god, what is this?
So despite what people say, making a jet engine is actually pretty easy. See this jar with a hole in the top? It's not only a flashlight, but a jet engine. Don't believe me? Watch.
Huh?
Yeah. No.
Okay,
Alright, just
I think
gonna
it'll
have to
work.
believe me. And that's the simplest version, and then the jars get more and more complicated, like this and this. But despite how much these people will try to convince you, no one actually knows how they work. And all these scientists, they're just going along with it, because they don't want to seem dumb and ask the wrong questions and lose their job. Which is why I'm not going to complicate things and get anyone fired, and just make a pulse jet, which is essentially
just
a
build
metal
it.
version of this broken jar. You have the combustion chamber here, which when the gas ignites, it pushes out here and here. But because the gas takes longer to come out of this section, it pulses back in or something, and
I
the
put the
ignition
damn
continues.
grippers away, man.
And this unexplainable process gives you heaps of thrust, like enough to become a Nazi and bomb England from over 400 k's away, which is perfect for me. So I'm going to copy famous Englishman Colin Furze, as his pulse jet looks fairly simple, but I've decided to upscale my design by exactly 1% just so I can say it's bigger.
Yeah, those were some massive grippers,
I
man.
haven't figured out the swinging part yet, I'll just work that
And
out
Jimmy.
later. Alright, I started by cutting out this 1.6mm sheet metal, which for those following along at home is this big. But now I have to turn this
massive.
flat piece into a round section. And the first piece didn't go well.
That is not going to line up.
Neither did the second.
Together, please.
But after using the vise, I eventually got this, which I tacked together. Then I cut out and rolled these tailpipe sections, which was a little harder.
What else is massive? This guy's grippers.
Fine.
It's massive feet.
And eventually I got this together by using the most ratchet of straps.
Watching the homemade
so after
jet
tacking
engine.
it together, I need to weld everything up. And after doing a practiced weld on some scrap to make sure I don't screw it up,
Pretty good.
I'm good to go. And this was a lot of welding, and really made me realize how bad I am at following plans. I don't think I ever successfully welded a piece first go, and it was a long process of welding.
I mean, it
cutting
looks
my
good
own
to me.
welds, and putting them back down, and then using a hammer to persuade the pieces into place. And eventually I got these 2 pieces,
Wait, oh my.
and a mad welding tan.
I mean, that looks good.
So after I
Oh, good
ground down
man.
one of the edges on the missile-shaped piece,
No worries.
I welded it to the trumpet piece. And nothing I do comes together without gaps. But the good thing about having the worst welds on the internet is that I can just fill the gaps with more ugly welds and no one expects anything less. But
That's
I'm
true.
pretty happy. The welds are mostly solid, except for here where I welded around my thumb.
Wait,
And
what?
also the whole thing is slightly off center, but it shouldn't matter.
Okay.
Now I just need to run the fuel line. So I got this pipe and welded a bolt in the end to make it airtight, then drilled some holes to make it air loose for the gas to come out.
okay.
These aren't randomly placed holes. They are very special. I'm hoping that if I put the holes in the same direction as the nozzle, when I crank up the gas, it will pull in the air in a phenomena called the Vitruvian Man, which will ignite and hopefully self-start and eliminate me needing a leaf blower like all these idiots. Like Colin Furze has made over 10 of these pulse jets and never made a self-igniting one, which is just embarrassing.
Oh, that's
And there you
weak,
go,
man. That's
the
a
pipe
skill
should be
issue.
in the center of the inlet. which it looks
What
like
is
it
what
is.
is
So it's time to give it a first go, and I'm slightly concerned that the pulse jet might
Base
just
background.
melt itself as it's only made out of mild steel. If I was a better welder, I would have made it out of stainless steel, just like this beautiful card from Revolut. Revolut is an all-in-one financial super app designed to simplify your money. They've got all you need in one easy-to-use app,
Okay.
including this beautiful card. And together,
That's a
it
good-looking
makes
card.
managing my Australian dollars in the US so much simpler than building this jet engine. The best part is you can get $40 when you download Revolut and make your first
40?
purchase. And $40 is enough to build 1/10 of this jet engine. Create an account
Okay.
in minutes, and you might even decide to order yourself one of these cards.
What if I
Learn
make
more
10
by heading to
cards?
the link in the description or scan this QR code here. Now, usually when I'm using a credit card or cash to buy stuff, I'm always annoyed that I can't use the card as a throwing star and indiscriminately maim things around me.
Yup.
But with Revolut, I can do that.
I mean,
can
that's a
even
good card if
customize
you
the
can cut a
card complete
carrot.
with text and emojis, so people around me will know who threw the card at them. And I buy a lot of random things from all over the world, and it can be a bit daunting purchasing from questionable sites. And to get ahead of those potentially fraudulent transactions, Revolut has a disposable virtual card you can set up in app, and every time you make an online purchase with it, the card details disappear, meaning no one can steal your details. And this
Oh.
app is pretty handy for traveling. You can get competitive exchange rates for over 30 currencies, discounted airport lounge passes, and even eSIMs directly in the app. It's got it all in one place. No more getting smashed at the airport with exorbitant fees on travel necessities.
I hate getting
So don't
smashed at
forget,
the
you
airport,
can join
man.
50
That
million
sucks.
people using Revolut worldwide and get $40 after your first purchase. Head to the link in the description or scan this QR code to learn more. Alright, back to the jet engine. And after watering down the grass and chucking some weights on top, we turned on the gas.
My welds aren't the best. I can see sunlight coming through.
Maybe still could be an issue.
Yep.
That was weird.
And nothing happened.
Oh,
Okay,
Hmm.
turn it off.
this says like maybe a safety shut off.
So we removed the pesky safety valve put in by the government to throttle your Saturday night barbecuing experience and tried again, with just a sparkler in the combustion chamber.
Yeah, it's in there. Whoa.
Oh shit. Wait, there's a flamethrower. What the?
Oh no. Okay, turn it off.
And it's not self-starting, so we tried with a leaf blower.
My junior inside. I don't want you
Yeah.
smoking.
That flame, baby.
Yep.
Shit. That looks wicked, huh?
And it started to rumble but still wouldn't kick. And I think my holes are the problem, or the lack of them. So I drilled some more and turned it perpendicular to the inlet and welded that in. I also fixed
Wow.
some of the leaking holes in the combustion chamber. And I do owe Colin an apology. I've also failed to make a self-starting pulse jet engine. You're not an idiot, we both are. I'm still convinced you're making a sex dungeon under your house though.
What?
It started.
I heard it.
It
I
started.
got scared. I turned it off.
Right.
Wait,
True,
what
man,
did
bro.
I
I
say
would
when you
not
shut
want to
it
be this
down?
guy's neighbor.
When it actually goes boom, you'll say I'll move away. Leave it for like a second unless it like flies. If it starts to move, turn
I
it
think I actually saw a comment below. What's this here? Imagine hearing something that sounds like a jet engine only to find out it's actually a jet engine. Bro, imagine being this guy's neighbor.
It starts to move. I'm not gonna be here, Alex.
No, if it starts
I'll be fucking scared out of my goddamn mind every day that this guy's house is gonna burn
Wow,
down.
that was it.
I don't like it.
It did it.
I don't like it.
Oh,
I don't like it.
you saw it move?
Yes.
And that time it sounded like it was about to go, but my housemate was too scared and kept turning it off. So I got back my mate,
Aw,
who doesn't care
lame.
as much about our safety, and gave it another go.
He would crash out. Honestly, I can't blame him. You know, to be fair, he's on his own property, right? Oh. Holy!
That is fucked. That is so loud. That is fucked. I don't think you should stop.
Okay, I think you would hear this like 2 streets away.
Yeah. Too loud.
Oh
And we
my
only
god.
had that on for a couple of seconds, but it was still the loudest thing my poor
Look how the
ears and
camera
neighbors
is shaking, man.
had come inside them. It also made me stim for some reason. It was around 140 decibels, which is louder than a passenger plane taking off right here on my deck. And the simplicity of this is beautiful. No moving parts, just sheet metal in the shape of
That
a
is
clunker
insane.
with a barbecue gas bottle. There is really
Actually,
no
can
reason
fuck
for
up your
every man,
hearing.
woman, and child watching right now not to go and make one of these. They are seriously the most fun you can have as a 14-year-old living in a crowded urban neighborhood. But I reckon if I ran this any longer, the cops would come and take it for themselves to play with. So I'm stopping. All right, I don't want to continue
Good idea.
using sparklers to ignite this thing. I want to feel more fancy and have buttons. And I could use an ignition coil to light it, but I thought it would be more fun to use a taser. And here's a hot tip for you kids. Tasers are illegal in Australia, but you can still buy them. They're just called cattle prods, which is illegal unless you have animals to prod. But in all seriousness, I'm getting chickens on the
The
property
neighbor
for
at
some
6 a.m. on a.
so all I did
That is
was
actually so
bypass
true.
the battery and switch it of the taser and connect it to this relay. And now when I press this button, it should work. And kids, once again, this is the perfect setup if you want to make a bomb. And then
Wait, what?
weld it in the spark plug.
This is
Taking
the great
notes.
thing about being a bad welder. We can hook cables onto them. Look at
That is a
that.
good
When I
point.
press this,
I mean, you don't want
it
it to be
should
too
go
smooth,
off.
right?
why do I hear gas? We should see this go off. Yes. Yes.
All right, now if I'm sitting on the jet engine, I can turn the
Okay.
gas on and off. But
I don't
what
think you wanna
happens if
sit
I
on that
fly
thing,
off? Or
man.
even worse, what if my clothes fly off? Then I won't have a way to stop the jet engine
That
from
would suck.
flying out of
I
control.
hope we don't see
So I'm
this.
going to make it wireless. So I bought this solenoid and this brass fitting that precisely don't fit my gas pipe. So I just welded
Okay.
it.
Right.
That does not work.
And I melted the brass. So instead I cut off some hose and stuck that on the end as an adapter, which works nicely. And now I also have the world's first lockable childproof bomb.
Seems safe.
What do you mean?
Is there a plastic bottle in that contraption?
You wouldn't have any more drug paraphernalia in the house.
I didn't make it.
Alex, this is in the garage.
I did
you
not-
Said you were not.
I
gonna have
did
this in
not
here.
make this.
What do you mean?
I didn't make it. He made it.
Is this true? He did it.
He did it. And now when I press this button, gas should come out. And this is weird. I can hear it, but I can't see it. So either there's a snake in the pipe or the guy gave me invisible gas.
Me.
Okay, the ignition works well. And after pissing off everyone in the neighborhood with the
Old
noise of
Flash
the thing,
games?
you'd think I'd
Actually,
stop
I think I kinda know what
No,
you mean,
I
yeah.
want to be in a neighbor's
With like a
Fatality
sketch.
episode. So I'm going to make a thrust augmenter. And it's a funnel thing that goes on either one of the exhausts, and for some reason it's meant to add more thrust. But again, it's one of those things in the rocket world where people
that
say
thing
it
is gonna be
works, but no one
massive.
can tell me how. Like if this actually worked, surely I could just stack another augmenter on this one, and then another, and another, and another.
That is way
and
too
get
goddamn big, bro.
ever-increasing
There's no
thrust.
way.
So let's give it a go, but this time not in the suburbs.
God.
Alright, the self-ignition doesn't work, and I can't get it to start with the augmenter, as it's in the way of the blower. So I just cut it off, and gave that a go, which still didn't work. But then I realised it was because I was out of gas, so I cut off the augmenter for no reason. And after getting a new bottle, we gave it another go. And I have heard whispers on the internet that if I tip the gas bottle upside down, something magical will happen.
Hey, what's gonna happen? Ooh. Physics.
And that liquid propane really makes it sound angry, and seems like it increases the thrust. Doing it at night seemed to help the thrust as well.
That was still on. I didn't realize I didn't turn it off. For you.
I mean, it does look really cool though. None of that.
Now, it's time to move the pulse jet to the top of the hill.
I just did not.
This guy is
Get a
insane,
train.
bro. I would never dare to do
He's
anything
gone.
like that.
Alright, now to work out the swing. And this can't be like your mum's sex swing. I need it to not fall apart under.
Honestly, it's impressive to me how this guy never got arrested or like hurt really bad doing any of these videos. At least not that we know. I'm surprised. Especially because he's like rarely ever even wearing safety gear and shit. And doing shit like that in his garden, I mean.
My weight. And
He's
originally
living
I
on the
wanted to
edge.
build two A-frames and have the swing on that, but I don't trust my welding enough, so I'm going to use God's A-frames, trees. which are super strong and don't fall over.
Okay, true.
And these two are in the perfect position, with a clearing on this side, and on the other side, a nice bushy cliff covered in dry grass. So I got this pipe, which has walls 3 mil thick, and secured it in place with these bearings, which I definitely remembered to put on the pipe the first time. And I don't know if these bearings are strong enough, but I also don't care.
Where's the
Then
video?
I just welded some arms on
We're watching Homemade Jet Engine on a Swing by I Did a Thing.
top of the engine with support running to the frame, which is made out of steel, as I've heard it's good at
Visited by the
holding up
FBI.
against jet
Honestly,
fuel.
that's...
And the reason I need
yeah,
the extra
makes sense.
support is if I just secure it on the top like this, I'm sure that spinning jet engine
It's the FBI. True. Why is it only
will
this
just
part?
heal
though?
itself apart. So
Oh.
instead, I have the arms running to the frame, and then the frame running all the way to the bottom. Then also just reinforced all the welds, while also making sure I keep the camera in a way where it doesn't reveal the location of my property to any of you freaks. Alright, now to see if it fits.
I mean, honestly,
Which
if
it
Rainbow
does,
sees
if I
1
leave
second
my
of that
car
video, he
here,
knows
but now I'm
exactly the
stuck.
coordinates.
What are we
So
gonna do?
I don't know about that.
Deflate the tires.
I think we'll deflate the tires.
Let's see.
What the fuck is this?
And if I just tried to run it like this, I don't think it would do 360s, as it would probably just get to like 45 degrees and then just stop. So originally I thought I could get like 5 meters of spear gun rubber and slingshot
I think we're
it
gonna
to
witness
start it
a
off.
forest fire in 5 minutes.
But then I realized I should just copy what I did in my intro and put a counterweight on top so
Oh,
it
true.
really wants to spin.
I mean, that's smart.
Too much leverage when you lift your arms out.
Maybe if I go
And if you guys have never experienced having a steel pole in between your cheeks while also holding 20 kilos above your head,
What is happening?
having a steel pole in between your cheeks while also holding 20 kilos above your head,
What do you mean? I do that every day.
you definitely have to try it. It's a fantastic feeling. When I got down though, we realized we could have just rotated the jet to put the weights on. Also, I realized another thing about the spinning I didn't consider. When the jet engine is upside down,
Wait, that's
it's gonna run on
clean.
liquid propane. So it'll be cycling between liquid and gas, giving it a lot more thrust, but will also put a lot of stress on this solenoid, which is not meant to run on cold liquid propane, which means it could blow up or get stuck in the open position, which is why I got rid of the Chinese solenoid and switched it with this beefy one. And it being Chinese has nothing to do with it, this one just has a bigger hole. Then I just bolted on a chair for me to sit on and put the electronics in a box. And it's
There's
done.
no
And
way
after
he's
a
gonna
visit
sit
to
on
the
that.
car park of an event cinema movie theater, I should have enough fire extinguishers to do the first test.
At
But
least he's
just
prepared.
To be sure we don't burn everything
Gotta give him
down,
credit.
We also stole the neighbor's generator and made a firefighting setup. And there's nothing left but to do it. And this is probably the most scared I've ever been before turning on one of my dumb devices.
So
Yo,
what's our
Dennis.
plan? Our plan is do it, and we're both running just and hiding behind that tree.
Yeah, behind that tree there.
See if I can bump up the quality. Watching a homemade jet engine on a swing by I Did a Thing.
And it wouldn't start, even though nothing has changed since we did the other tests. So we tried different sized gas bottles, thinking that that could have been the issue. And we also tried moving the bottle position around.
What do you mean? He's doing high IQ research.
Why did that happen?
And even though we got it started once, it wouldn't stay on. So we tried a couple more times.
I don't know, is this a good idea?
But then
Oh?
called it a night. Decided to try again in the morning with a plan. So in the morning we got up and went to a car
Oh, they got
dealership
it.
and installed a TV for them.
We did a much better job at this than the jet engine. First go. Of course, yeah.
Then
I mean, it
once
seemed
we'd
like it
done
didn't
that, we
properly
tried the
work.
jet engine again.
What? It's the fucking FBI, man. What is this? I'm gonna watch this video. You can't stop me. You can't.
We had done that, we tried the jet engine again.
Oh. It's working.
Why?
It
which
turned off.
still wouldn't work. But then we realized that the solenoid was probably the problem. As you know how earlier I said that nothing had changed from our stationary test before? One thing did, the length of this hose, which doesn't seem like it would make a difference, but because it's shorter now, there might be less resistance on the solenoid and the gas can pass through easier. So we did something you're definitely not meant to do and put a kink in the gas pipe, which will hopefully build up more pressure and force the solenoid to open all the way.
Sure. Oh!
And that was the best so far, but I want it to spin
They look
for
good.
as long as we tell it to. So we crimped the hose a little harder and gave it another go.
Oh my god, no, that's a death machine. Holy.
And that worked so much better than I could have ever hoped. Nothing broke, blew up, or got burnt. And
Okay,
it
now
spun
sit on it.
continuously until we switched it off. So we tried again, but this time with the bottle fully tilted so it runs on liquid for longer.
Am I Mr. Sparkler?
Sparkle.
National security risk.
Let's keep with
At
it.
least, yeah. My god, wait, this is way faster.
And that was significantly louder and faster than the others, but it still wasn't running on liquid the whole time. You could hear it going on and off. And I think it's because it's spinning, the liquid is getting pulled to the bottom edge like water in a bucket and not coming out. So we waited till night and decided to try a new tank with more liquid propane in it and give that a go.
Stop. No, it was spraying liquid propane onto you. Get away from it. Get
Uh.
away from it.
And we almost set ourselves on fire. So
Okay,
we
I
tried
mean, it
again
can
with
happen.
bottle at 45 degrees.
It's a learning process.
And then we almost blew the jet engine up. So we tried one last time before finally getting the shot I wanted, and also letting you hear the drop of this song.
That's a good drop. Oh my god. Bro, imagine walking through a random forest at like 2 AM and you hear these noises. Oh my god. Bro, that's so clean.
That initial burst, it almost stopped and there was...
And this is by far the best thing I've ever made and most fun I've ever had filming a video. But there's also zero chance I'm ever going to sit on this thing. Go
What?
make a pulse jet, kids, and
Why?
do it yourself. Thank you so much for watching. If you like that, please subscribe and check out some of my other videos.
That was a good one. Like, I've seen a lot of this guy's videos. This was probably one of the best I've seen so far.